charged and acquitted Ezekbeye Logbo, Kelvin Anugwo, and 42 others standing trial for the death of a divisional police officer of Ahoda East, late SP Bako Angbashim. The accused persons were standing trial on a 4-count charge of cultism, armed robbery, murder, and conspiracy to commit murder. Recall that over 50 persons are standing trial after SP Bako Angbashim was killed by late David Okpara, popularly known as Tubaba, and his gang members in September 2023. Now, when the matter came up in court today, the Director of Public Prosecution, DPP, CF Amadi, told the court that no case was established against the accused persons. And while the trial judge, Justice S.H. Aprioku, discharged and acquitted the accused persons. Meanwhile, lawyer to one of the defendants, Saturday Emehi, spoke to newsmen.
He was arrested on the guise of invitation that the DC operation wants to see him. He was arrested on a Sunday. Now, as far as this matter is concerned, what it means by a prima facie case not being established means that the person is not connected to that case. So on that note, he's free and he has his full liberty to handle his own affairs and more come back to this matter.
In the meantime, the president of Ijaw National Congress, INC, Benjamin Okaba, has urged the Nigerian army to ensure that citizens do not suffer in their resolve to arrest the killers of 17 soldiers in Okwama community, Delta State. Well, Professor Okaba made the call in an interview with our correspondent following the arrest of a former Niger Delta agitator and former governorship candidate in Rivers State, Sobomabo Jack Rich, in Degema local government area by yet to be known security agency.
We always advise the military to be very professional. They should deal with their intelligence, critically analyze the source of the Ijaw nation will not be pleased that innocent persons have been arrested or maimed for a crisis they did not make any contribution to, not condemning whatever happened. And whoever that is involved in a crisis, to our own mind, military should do whatever that is possible, no matter how high or low you have been participating in society. The person should be not booked.
Moving on, Governor Siminalayi Fubara has charged the Nigerian Navy to provide security and other support to the people of Ebubu community in Eleme local government area of Rivers State. Well, Governor Fubara gave the charge when he commissioned the new Navy Training Command headquarters in Ebubu community. He advised that the facility should be properly maintained.
As we go on to put this training command into full service, my charge to you is to ensure that this training facility is effectively maintained and utilized to expand the operation activity for national development. I further implore you to provide security and development support to the host community and live in peace and harmony to the civilian population in this local government area.
Well, Governor Fubara also donated 350 million naira to support the equipment of the training command.
Accordingly, I am pleased to announce the donation of the sum of 350 million to support the continual development and operationalization of this training command.
Still to come, building collapse in Kano State kills 3. Stay tuned. Thanks for staying with us. And now to the rest of the news. The Vice Chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association, Port Harcourt Branch, Emmanuel Okbala, says the reported cases of human rights abuses are on the increase. Mr. Okbala made this known to correspondent Suibi Oruwari while speaking on the collaboration between the association and the Public Interests Lawyering Initiative for West Africa, PILIWA, on human rights cases, where he encouraged citizens to seek help, saying rights abuses can be addressed.
For those who are oppressed, being the voice or the voiceless, helping the needy in the society, to use the instrumentality of law to achieve justice. It covers a wide range of issues, but particularly on human rights violations, infractions on environmental degradation, oil pollution. The cases we have received so far is on human rights violations. Other matters that we have received is about, landlord and tenant issues. Maybe we also have received some cases on domestic violence, and we are treating them.
Renowned environmental activist and the country focal person of PILIWA, Chima Williams, also spoke.
It is an issue of public interest, something that is beneficial to everybody, protecting the voiceless, giving voice to voiceless, protecting our environment and speaking for our environment and speaking for our citizens' source of livelihoods. And of course, when it comes to taking money from those voiceless persons that will prosecute their matters, one is that, no, we don't. We offer pro bono services. But if the victims can on their own support that, because it is their own duty, because lawyers deal with the facts and the law, but those laws belongs to the litigants.
In other news, a rights activist, Charles Jaja, has expressed concern over the power outage affecting street lights along the Obirikwere Airport Road. Mr. Jaja, in an interview with correspondent Emeko Tuka, said the lack of street lights is a security risk, and he called on the Rivers State Ministry of Power to quickly restore electricity to the road to ensure the safety of motorists and pedestrians.
The inability of Rivers State Ministry of Power to energize the street lights at Obirikwere axis of the East-West Road. It's an indirect way of empowering robbers and endangering the lives of drivers and commuters that are applying that route. And I wish to appeal to them to do the needful because we've had incidences of car theft, phone snatching, and if you go to that environment, you won't like the kind of order that is coming in there. There's a lot of massive defecation in that place. And so if you have street lights, all walking in this area, you won't find this kind of things. And I also want to appeal to NDDC that in the event that Ministry of Power have refused to do anything, that the NDDC should please take up the responsibility of providing street lights.
Elsewhere, the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has confirmed that 3 persons died and 2 were injured when a 3-story building collapsed at Kuntao Quarters, Gwale local government area of Kano State, when NEMA Territorial Coordinator in Kano State, Nuruddin Abdullahi, said so far 5 persons have been rescued and taken to the Moritala Mohammed Specialist Hospital. He also said a search and rescue operation was still ongoing to rescue those who were trapped.
And now we bring you news from around the world.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has warned that Washington will act if China does not stop supplying Russia with items used in its assault on Ukraine. While speaking to the BBC in Beijing, the U.S.'s top diplomat said he had made clear to his counterparts that they were helping fuel the biggest threat to European security since the Cold War.
This is doing 2 things. It's helping Russia. 70% of the machine tools that Russia is getting from abroad coming from China. 90% of the microelectronics. So we've been very clear that this is doing 2 things. It's helping Russia perpetuate its aggression against Ukraine, but it's also creating a growing threat to Europe because of Russia's aggression. And what I'm hearing from Europeans is deep concern about this. So for China, if it wants to have better relations, not only with us, but with countries in Europe, it can't do that while at the same time helping to fuel the biggest threat to European security since the end of the Cold War. If China won't act, we will.
Well, as you may know, Mr. Blinken and Chinese President Xi Jinping met today in Beijing as part of efforts to shore up relations between the 2 countries. And that's the news this evening. But before we go, let's take a look at the highlights. You heard that a state high court in Port Harcourt has freed a monarch and 42 others over the death of Rivers DPO SP Bako Angbashim. A federal high court has adjourned the suit by Rivers CSOs seeking constitution interpretation on defection of state lawmakers. Governor Siminalayi Fubara has commissioned the new Navy Training Command in Ebubu, Rivers State. And on the foreign scene, the US says China is helping to fuel Russian threat to Ukraine. The news was edited by Martha Okerenkem. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808 721 7215. I am Constance Mega. Thank you so much for listening. Good evening.